All right, so listen, you hear a lot of people say, be yourself, right? But a lot of people don't know how to be themselves. And the reason why a lot of adults don't know how to be themselves is because when we were children, mama, daddy, grandmama, granddaddy, auntie, uncle, whoever raised you, right? They always told you, boy, you better learn how to act. You better learn how to act. When you go in public, you better learn how to act. When you go to school, you got to be somebody other than yourself. You got to be interested in the things that you're not interested in, right? So your whole life, my whole life, we've been told to act, 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 act. So now it's normal for us to act. So most people in society put on a mask. They're not showing you who they really are. They might show you the I'm confident in myself. I'm very confident, and they have this persona of arrogance and right, but behind closed doors they're very sensitive. Behind closed doors they cry. Behind closed doors they're very insecure. But in public they put on this persona. They gotta act, right? So a lot of people acting. So you say, well, promise child, how do I get to know myself and how do I start being myself? Well, how you get to know yourself and how you start being yourself is through isolation. What I mean through isolation, spending time with yourself, right? Without the TV, without social media, without being around a whole bunch of people, just sitting there and just asking yourself, pulling out a pen and a piece of paper and asking yourself, hey, let me show you. Let me show you what I mean. Pulling out a notebook, right? A piece of paper, a notebook, and writing down, what do I really like? What am I really interested in? What do I really want to do with my life? Not what social media want me to do with my life, right? Not what media want me to do with my life, not what a college institution want me to do with my life, not what my mama, my dad, and my cousin, my friends want me to do with my life, not what they want me to like. What do I really like and what do I really want to do? And that takes real isolation. Do this 30 minutes to an hour a day of just sitting there. Oh, these are the things that I'm really interested in. These are the things that I really like. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that's really pulling me. But in public, you're afraid to go towards that way because you're afraid of people clowning you, people joking on you, people calling you a lame, people talking about you. You're afraid to truly, truly be you. You truly afraid to wear the clothes that you want to wear because people gonna talk about the clothes that you wear. You afraid to know I gotta dress like this because I don't want people to talk about me. Or I gotta talk like this because I don't want people to laugh at the way that I talk. Well, let me tell you something. People gonna talk about you regardless. Whether you got on a suit and a tie, whether you got on some basketball shorts with some sneakers on and a t-shirt, it don't matter what you're wearing, it don't matter how you talk, it don't matter how many followers you have, how many followers you don't have. It doesn't matter. People gonna talk about you regardless. It don't matter because you have miserable people that's in the world. They are miserable and all they do is criticize people and judge people and talk about people. That's what they do. If you're rich, they got something to say. If you're poor, they got something to say. If you're acting like somebody else, they got something to say. If you're being yourself, they got something to say. So at the end of the day, you gotta be you. And every day practice being the real you, of figuring out who you are, your character, your likes, your dislikes. You know what I'm saying? And if the people can't accept you, like the group of people that you're around, if they can't accept you for who you really are, then stop hanging around them. It's 8 billion people on the planet. There are people that are like-minded, just like they're like-minded. They have the same ideas, if not the same exact ideas, but similar ideas as you. And they like what you like and you like what they like. That's your tribe. The people that rock with you for you. That's who your tribe is. You feel what I'm saying? That's who your tribe is. So let's go back over there. This is how you figure out who you are. Sitting down 30 minutes a day, an hour a day, and I actually want you to do it longer than 30 minutes or an hour because and I know you can do it because people spend hours and hours scrolling on social media. People spend hours and hours watching Netflix, just binge watching. So I know you can spend more than 30 minutes or an hour just sitting down, writing down things of what do you like, who you really are, traveling back in your childhood. Like, think about in your childhood, right? What was you interested in that society told you that you couldn't do? Right? When I was a kid, I was real big on rapping. You know, me and my friend D, right? I used to go to his house and we used to rap every single day. We used to post our music on this app called SoundClick, and we used to rap every single day. And I end up giving up on that dream, not because I wasn't earning any money, not because I wasn't getting validation or acceptance. I really gave up because society told me You know what I'm saying? That I couldn't make a career out of that. No one around me really was encouraging me to pursue that career. You know what I'm saying? So society pretty much told me like, yo, you can't do this. Like the people, the environment around, you're not going to be able to make a living off of this. And it's crazy because you have people out here who are really earning a living off of traveling the world and rapping and making music and creating music. But I gave up on it because I allowed society and my environment to talk me out of it. You feel what I'm saying? Think about the thing that you was really interested in as a kid in middle school, high school. You stopped doing it because it wasn't profitable. You stopped doing it because the validation and acceptance wasn't there. You stopped doing it because the environment wasn't rooting you on. You know what I'm saying? These like at the early, these are who you really were. This is who you really was. These are the things that you really was interested in. But you gave up on it because it wasn't profitable. So you thought. You gave up on it because people laughed at it and people talked about you. So I'm a firm believer that people really know who they are, but they're afraid to be who they really are because they're afraid people gonna talk about it. But if you don't know who you are, sit down and just go down memory lane. What was I really into? What was I really like before somebody laughed at me? Before somebody talked about me? Before somebody told me I couldn't do this thing? What was I really like? You know what I'm saying? Who am I really? And be that person that you know that you are really. Be that person. I'm very talkative. I love history. You know what I'm saying? And can't nobody convince me not to. I love, encourage, inspire, and motivate. That's what I do. But it's been times in my life that I concealed it. It's been times in my life that I suppressed it. Because I was afraid of people's opinions. I was afraid to be me. Because the environment gonna laugh at me and talk about me and told me and tell me I'm crazy. I was afraid at one time. I'm gonna keep it G with you. I was afraid at one time. But I'm no longer afraid because the older you get, you realize I ain't got a million years on this earth to live. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to, I don't know nobody to live to 100 million years old, 200 million years old. I don't know them personally. If they did, if that happened way before my time. Most people checking out in their 80s and 90s and hundreds. You know what I'm saying? So we have a short period of time on this planet. Even if we had a million years, that still is not a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother topic. I'll talk about that later. But that's still not a long time. Life is short. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. And since life is short, you should be doing what you want to do, how you want to do it, and you should most definitely be yourself and embrace your uniqueness, embrace your individuality, embrace you and be you. So before I let you go, let's go over again. Pull out a pen, pull out a piece of paper, or put it in your phone. 30 minutes of who am I really? What am I really interested in? Who am I really?